And a lot of people are saying that the UFC is taking over. You know, is coming in and it's taking all the boxing. It's taking away from boxing. What do you feel about that?
I don't necessarily think it's taken away from boxing. I actually love the UFC. The only thing I don't like about the UFC is that sometimes they allow them to hit guys who are basically unconscious. But other than that, I really love the UFC. So I don't think it's taking boxing. And plus, in the UFC, you find guys who came up doing different things. Like they could be a jack of all traits and just master putting it together. In boxing, you're not gonna be a master of a jack of all traits. You're gonna be a master at one, or you ain't gonna make it.
But what made you decide? I'm gonna take some time away from boxing and come into this music game.
Well, they're very similar and very parallel as far as the toughness goes and the way that they run. However, I guess I should say, in a sense, music was like a drug to me.
Okay.
To where it's like, if I listen to the right music, my favorite artist of all time, of course, was Mr. Scarface. But if I get my Scarface on, you got problems out of me when it comes time to perform, because it's just something about Scarface music that gets me going.
So you gonna be listening to Scarface tomorrow?
Of course I am.
Okay.
So you gonna listen to that Lil Jon Put Your Hood Up remix where y'all went in the Roy Jones, I must have forgot. I smoked, I drank. You ain't gonna listen to none of that. That ain't gonna get you crunk for the fight, right?
That does get me started. The Scarface get me started, then my own stuff kick in and I'll be ready to go.
That's what it is, man. Let me ask you about this, because a lot of folks, when you was fighting light heavyweight, they always compare the fighters, and they wanted you, I guess, to move up a class to fight Mike Tyson. What would it be like if you fought Mike Tyson?
Well,
back then,
it would have been one of the biggest fights of all times. I did try to fight Mike Tyson. Actually, what happened was I was middleweight champ, then super middleweight champ, then light heavyweight champ. Then I went up and won the heavyweight championship of the world.
I remember
Then I tried to fight Mike Tyson, and he wouldn't do it. So my dreams were shattered. Only guy who I thought may have had a chance to probably break my jaw, but he would have had to break it because I was going to be there.
He was gonna be there fighting. Speaking of biggest fights in fight history, got a fight coming up May 2nd.
Yep.
Everybody's looking at this. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I'm just so glad it finally happened. I'm so glad for the boxing community and the boxing public that it happened. I look forward to a wonderful fight from both guys. In my opinion, people always ask, well, who's going to win?
Yeah.
You can't really tell who's going to win, but the way I see the fight thing going is I think Floyd is definitely the better boxer. Pacquiao is probably the more erratic guy who is basically kind of unpredictable.
Might bite your ear off in the fight.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I got you.
And so to me, he's the guy who's going to work the most. Floyd either have to do something to disrupt his work rate, or Floyd have to knock him out.
Wow.
So I'm thinking Floyd, if it goes the distance, it's going to be tough to beat Pacquiao. Unless Floyd really neutralizes him early. And if it does not go the distance, either guy can land that shot. So.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to win tomorrow?
Of course, Roy Jones, the boss of all bosses.
Who you fight? Sweet Willie Johnson?
Willie Williams.
Oh yeah. Willie for real, Will.
Yeah, Willie, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be for real, but I understand that. You got to come to win. He, honestly, no disrespect to Willie. Willie said, I was one of his favorites coming up as well. And it's kind of fun for a guy to get to challenge his favorite because he wants to prove to his favorite that he has learned enough to be able to outdo him at what he does best. So it's not like I'm not expecting Willie to come out looking to be victorious, but I'm sorry, Willie, just you might have caught me on the wrong day.
Well, let me ask you, because as you start aging and boxing yourself becomes less of a thing that you do, are you looking to train new boxers and work with
I want to learn,
even like younger kids, teenagers or younger kids, and kind of getting them started and giving them that foundation so that later they can go on to be superstars like yourself?
Yeah, I do. I look forward to doing that. As a matter of fact, I work with John Pacquiao, who's fighting Sergey Kovalev, the guy that just beat Bernard Hopkins last. He's fighting him next Saturday in Canada, and I'm working with him. I have a young kid in Vegas named Devin Haney, who's about 16, who's definitely going to be one of the bright names in the future. I have a couple other guys that I work with, so I do look forward to working with younger talent and trying to give back. However, all the things that I do, it's kind of hard to give them all that because, I'm a guy who was made from scratch. I learned different things from different animals and different other things, so I'm just real different.
So let me ask you this, Roy. What is it like, for starting on the bottom level? What does it take to get your body in shape to be a boxer?
It takes a whole lot. You got to have a lot of sacrifice, a lot of commitment. You got to diet right. You got to get your body in shape to where you can absorb punishment. You got to get it to where you can dish out punishment. You got to really stick to a pretty rigid diet, because you don't want to be fighting guys who are 20 pounds bigger than you on the night of the fight. So that's a very art form of the game that people miss.
Mm-hmm. You said boxing. You know, there are no more junk talkers out there in the heavyweight round.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Well, I mean, most of the guys, they ain't really good enough to talk.
That's simple.
You gotta be good enough to talk there. I mean, you gotta have that personality as well. A lot of guys, though, they're afraid to talk because sometimes, you know, it gets carried away, and you know, there's been places where guys start to try to talk, but they end up not being able to hold their composure through their own talk, and end up swinging on somebody. Other guys get into, you know, confrontations at press conferences, and it looks bad. So guys are afraid to take that chance.
Well, take us through your routine of what you do the day of a fight.
The day of the fight, I get up, go to breakfast, come back, may go walk around a little bit just to walk the breakfast off. And I come lay down, listen to some music off and on all day, you know, talk to my kids. Later on that evening, I'll start getting antsy and jittery and ready to go. And then it's hard for me to rest and lay down. I get up and I start walking around. Now I want to put my hands on somebody.
So the fight is actually tomorrow night. Where is the fight and what time?
Cabarrus Arena. I think doors probably open at 6:30. My fight probably won't go off to about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Because it'll be the main event. But you know, all I gotta say is, you know, like I said, I know the guy's coming to win because he's fighting a guy that he idolized. He's probably hoping that, you know, I'm
you have a bad day in the office.
Exactly. But those bad days are over with, so I feel for him.
So tomorrow night, check it out, Cabarrus Arena. Where do we get tickets at, or can we get tickets at the door?
You can get tickets at the door or CarolinaBrawl.com or Ticketmaster, but you can get them at walk-ups too. You can walk up and buy a ticket at the door more than likely. Unless all these tickets sell out on CarolinaBrawl.com or Ticketmaster, then you got a problem.
I know somebody here got some tickets. I need some tickets for tomorrow night. I'm going to put my bid in now.
I think his name Money Mike.
Money Mike? Mike. Who that? That Money Mike right there? That Money Mike?
Money Mike is holding an envelope.
Hey, my Money Mike look like White Mike from the Comedy Zone. Like he White Mike from the Comedy Zone, Big Brother. I see your name got to be Mike to have money.
And he don't nobody know who he is.
Money Mike is the man back there.
There you is.
Roy Jones Jr. in the building, this Power 98.